Winning isn't everything, but it's the only thing. In our business, there is no second place. Either you're first or you're last.
It was named after Vince Lombardi. You play in Green Bay. As important as it is to any other team, it means more to us.
When he walked into the meeting, he looked us right in the eye. He said, "Gentlemen, we're going to relentlessly chase perfection."
My first thought was on any play with my arm strength, I may not let anybody know this, but my first thought was home run. On every play. On every play.
He did what? Fires into the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! No!
Welcome back to the Packers Corner. We did it, boys. We are officially qualified for the playoffs. We are going to dive into the game here, but first things first, I got to go back to last week here.
Their home field. I know their fans going to be loud because there's not much to do in Green Bay except watch football. But it's going to be a great environment for us to play in, and hopefully we have a great game and get the dub on Sunday. So.
Well, there's plenty to do in Chicago, but watch competent quarterback play has not been one of those things really in the history of that franchise. Schmitty, is the Bears sympathizer that you are, despite it all, this win has to be feeling pretty good.
Griffey, Tommy and Susie's parents, okay, one of the greatest things we have in America that we can all participate in is consensual love, okay? And let me tell you, Mommy and Daddy, they didn't leave Lambeau Field without conceiving their third child, okay? That was a sight to behold. We have the franchise quarterback again, seemingly. This man, Griffey, is unconscious. We might be talking Packers Corner 4 or 5 years down the road, a couple Super Bowls on our belt. This man is the truth. It's undeniable. No one should question it. Bears fans, Griffey, if you watch any of the YouTube reactions of the game, they are just scratching their heads, puzzled at how did the green and gold find another one to torment us for another 15 to 20 years. It is incredible stuff. What a game. How do you not be romantic about football, Griffey? My favorite saying, and the last name of the poor kids is love. We love the guy. I'm excited. No one should have a morsel of doubt of where this team can go in the future. And guess what? We are gifted. A gift in the playoffs, his first year. We have an opportunity to win a playoff game. Unbelievable stuff. A 9-8 football team. And you hear all the talking heads this week already, Griffey. This is their upset pick. And it's because of Jordan Love. It's because of an offense. And it's, guess what, Griffey? You hate to say it. It might be because of Joe Barry and that defense. That defense has found maybe a little something. The stunts that they're sending, the Carl Brooks, Kenny Clark stunt, Griffey, you can't beat it right now. It's one of the best in the league. You have Jair back. Pack is back, baby. The Pack is back. Get excited.
Well, Schmitty, you gave us a lot to dive into and dissect there. We're going to hash it all out here. But you said there's no room for doubting Jordan Love anymore. There were a lot of folks doing just that just a few short weeks ago. I want to remind the folks and bring up some receipts on what some of those around the football community had to say a short time ago. And then let's get hyped up about the opportunity we have in front of us. Take a listen here, boys.
Just don't know if it'll be the final time or not. A lot's going to happen here in the offseason, but these two guys have been through a lot. This is one of Aaron's closest friends. He has talked about it a lot. Having Randall back, he really wanted him back. We got him back a couple of years ago. And from that national anthem, like you said, Chris, just kind of think in the back of your mind. Just never know.
At this point, as I sit here, I think since Friday, I made it clear that my intention was to play, and my intention was to play for the New York Jets.
Okay. We have breaking news here in Kansas City, but the focus is not here for the draft. Instead, it is in New York and Green Bay, where finally, the Jets and Packers have agreed to their mega trade, their long-awaited trade. Sources tell me and colleague Tom Pelissero that the New York Jets have agreed to terms on a trade for Aaron Rodgers. The four-time MVP goes from Green Bay to the New York Jets, where they now get their franchise quarterback. It's a complicated deal, and we will break it all down.
First off, I don't think Jordan Love is quarterback of the future with Green Bay. You had a great quarterback for 30 years. Good job. Welcome to mediocrity. That is where you'll be for the next however long y'all think Jordan Love, because I've heard that it's pissed me off for a long time. Everybody's screaming, well, Aaron Rodgers is done, and we're happy with Jordan Love. Okay. I can't wait. When things that you miss, you're going to have postcards, Mitchell. They're going to have postcards like, longing for Aaron Rodgers, four-time MVP. You will not sniff a Super Bowl. My goodness.
Just like Jordan Love in that quarter. One of my in the game that he played against you, what was that, 2 years ago? Who's that? Jordan Love.
Can't remember Jordan Love.
The Packers started that game where Rodgers was involved.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah. No,
All right, we're 6 games into Jordan Love, Packers' new quarterback. The only people defending him are adult men who wear cheese heads in the fall. It's obstructing your view. Get another hat. He can't play. Listen, you and I can argue about Justin Fields, Sam Darnold, but there were moments I could put together a 6-minute YouTube clip with Justin Fields and Darnold, and you'd go, wow. Even backups. I've seen Josh Dobbs, Gardner Minshew against the Cleveland Browns defense. You got quarters and moments, down the field throws. This doesn't work.
Will Love be the next great quarterback in Green Bay?
Absolutely not. He's been awful.
In the shotgun, takes the snap. Love throws, right side, back shoulder, leaping grab, Romeo does, touchdown, Green Bay Packers, sensational throw.
Yeah, drinking dope, turn me to a superhero, yeah, hit that pill, turn me to a superhero, yeah, roll my 90s, turn me to a superhero, yeah.
Minnesota snap to Love, he looks, he throws the middle, he's got Reed cutting left, slips to defender 20, turns the corner 15, 10, 5, ends up, touchdown! Touchdown! To Love, lost the left side of the end zone, over the shoulder catch, touchdown, Christian Watson! All right, here we go. 2 minutes standing between the Packers and a playoff berth. 17-9 Green Bay over Chicago. Love under center. And here's the handoff to Showtime. Left side, breaks a tackle, cutting left outside the numbers to another first down to the 31-yard line of Chicago. And there is your dagger. Everybody in Lambeau Field on their feet in what many called a rebuilding year in Green Bay after all this. It was all about the future, right? Well, for this Packers team, on this day in Green Bay, the future is now, and so are the playoffs.
Go Pack, go man! We're going to the playoffs, baby! And we in it! Let's go! Let's go!
Well, do you guys have goosebumps? Holy smokes, we're here, and I don't know how many more superlatives could be thrown Jordan Love's way, but sure fun to see a few commentators around the national sports media have some words to eat and some crow to eat there too. Dad, down the stretch here, Jordan Love as compared to Aaron Rodgers, it's not close in the last 10 games of both 2022 versus 2023. Holy smokes, Jordan Love caught fire here, finishing the year against the Bears here with an 84.4 completion percentage, the highest since who, Dad? That's my trivia question for you. Do you know who he was second to minimum 30 pass attempts there?
What do you mean, all time? I don't
Yeah,
understand.
he completed 84.4% of his passes in this
Oh.
game against the Bears. Only one Green Bay quarterback with a minimum 30 pass attempts has ever done better in a single game.
I know Aaron Rodgers was 31 for 36 against Atlanta in the playoffs. There's probably a Bart Starr game there somewhere in the 60s. Those two come to my mind.
The
Right off
greatest,
the top of
the
my head.
greatest Green Bay Packer to ever wear the number 12, Lynn Dickey, is who he passed on that.
Okay.
Just a little
Lynn
punch
Dickey
there,
wore
Schmitty.
little
Yeah.
trivia. Lynn Dickey wore another number too. Do you know what other number he wore after he broke his leg?
I have a guess, but I don't know what it is. My guess is 10.
It was 10.
All right, there we go. That brings it full circle for us there. Dad, what were your takeaways from this game? Boy, was that a fun one to watch.
You know, you're showing the highlights there and talking tingles going up and down the spine. You know, I'm really past the point where there's any tingles. I kind of almost expect it from this kid. It's just been unbelievable. It's not like it's a big shock or surprise. The performance was superlative. I mean, like you say, 27 for 32, 316, 2 touchdowns, and 2 touchdowns were dropped. One was egregiously overruled in a pitiful ruling. And we really left, I counted it up here. I could go through it with you. We left 23 points on the field there between the 4th down right at the end of the 6 minutes to go in the half that was inaccurately called by the officials a first down. We're going to go down there and probably score. We missed 2 field goals. We had 2 touchdowns that were dropped or called incomplete. We didn't kick a field goal at the end of the first half. And at the end of the game, we could have scored a touchdown going in. So this team is just loaded with potential. We have not come close to reaching our potential. And we'll see if we can get it done in a high pressure situation. But, you know, Jordan Love has been in some high pressure situations on the road at Detroit, against Kansas City, in the Hall of Horrors, the Bank Stadium, where we always have trouble with that crowd. He's just looked like a seasoned pro. So no, I mean, I'll have tingles up my spine at kickoff, but it doesn't surprise me that much anymore.
Schmitty, I'm piling it on your boy number 12 a little bit here, and he's taken the high road. He's had a lot of nice things to say about the Packers and love in the media, but you know, just comparing this final regular season game we had the last 2 years, Love gets it done. Aaron, you see walking off the field with Randall Cobb and arm in arm. It left a little bit of a bitter taste in my mouth just how some of the big games at the latter half of Aaron's career went. And one of the things that I think made a difference here is just the relationship that they had with the guys. Aaron became sort of the old guy in the locker room. And Jordan Love's just one of the guys. I got a clip here I want to play that speaks to that a little bit.
Can you give us an outside of the facility hanging out with Aaron Rodgers story?
I didn't get a chance to hang out with him, but
not one time he didn't take you guys out?
Not one time. I mean, as far as being around 12, I'd say possibly it's always been football. So, I mean, in the building, on the practice field, there was never a time where, you know, got to really, or not, there was an event, well, not an event, but we had a team get together for Halloween. I thought that was pretty cool.
J Love, he's a great guy, you know. He's been playing excellent, you know, and it's just crazy how he could bond with everybody, every receiver, every running back. You know, he just has that neck for him, you know, to find open guys, to make plays. He's a playmaker. He's a great quarterback, and we're just thankful to have him as receivers. We go to dinners at his house on Mondays. He has whole people come over. I don't think I'm saying too much, but we come over his house on Mondays and we eat. We go over film. Before the week starts, we go over film as well. So I think, just the bond of staying connected with him. That's is big as a wide receiver.
I was saying it all last year. I was ready for Jordan Love. We finally got our chance this year, Schmitty. I think that difference, quite a juxtaposition there, is going to make a difference for us when we're down in the trenches, when we need a play against Dallas, and we know we got a quarterback that has everyone's back. What do you have to say about the feel of Love and how his teammates talk about him versus what you heard from Romeo Dobbs on 12 there?
Let me address you first, Griffey. Shame on you. You'll never, ever, once on this podcast, make me turn my back on number 12. And simply because when as a little boy, okay, you, Gar's watching football games with you on the couch, at no point, and Gar probably as well, you never thought that you didn't have a chance when Aaron Rodgers was your quarterback. Now, I'm starting to get that same feeling about Jordan Love, that maybe this man is transcends quarterback play and that you will always have a chance when number 10 is at the helm. That's rare air to be in. I'll the fact that Jordan Love brings the guys in on Mondays, has dinners, takes care of them in that sense. That is awesome. That is what a captain wants. Okay, that's how you unify a locker room. Now, Griffey, I don't even like hanging out with people my own age. I don't like hanging out with anyone, frankly. Okay. So the fact that he doesn't want to hang out with kids that are 17 years his younger, I like that doesn't bother me at all. Okay. That these are professional athletes. They got to get their acts right. Now, would I have myself being the Aaron Rodgers apologist that I am, okay, would I like to see Aaron foster these guys in? Look at how good this crop of wide receivers is. Would I have liked to see them? And maybe he actually did. Maybe he did throw some bits and pieces their way, and that's why they've progressed the way they have. The Christian Watsons, the Romeo Dobbs of the world, right? You get to learn from an MVP quarterback, and those are invaluable pieces of information that maybe Aaron Rodgers passed on. Okay, they're just at a different time in their life. All right, he's listening to the Beatles and Creed. I got Romeo Dobbs rocking to Little Baby and Nicki Minaj. Okay, this is a different life that they live and walk. These are professional athletes. How dare you try to divide Packer fans from Aaron Rodgers any further? I won't stand for it. I hate that you do it so much. It's absolutely annoying. But the only reason that you're able to spout off like this is because Jordan Love is probably the answer to all of our problems. Yes, Utah State, stand up, Griffey. God bless you. You found a jersey of our friend number 10. I'm happy with all the outcomes here of being a Rodgers fan and now being a Jordan Love fan. I guess that's where I'll leave it. Again, they're both really good, Griffey, and you can smile in the past and you can smile about the future. Just get excited about Green Bay Packer football, my friend.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of fans out there in Packer Nation that would consider it heresy, some of the slander I've thrown at 12 here, and I gotta admit that that's gonna be the last of it from me. I'm ready to turn the page. I had to get my last jab in there. I've got a nice autograph from Aaron sitting in another room here. It says "Follow your dreams, Griff," and I hold that very fondly, near and dear to my heart. That autograph and the memories of Aaron Rodgers, and so we can turn the page. I just had to get one final jab in there. Now, Dad, let's turn the page to another topic here, namely Joe Barry holds Justin Fields to 27 yards rushing. He couldn't hold Tommy DeVito to 27 yards rushing, and Khalil Herbert held in check Roshan Johnson. The Bears averaged 3 yards a carry. No touchdowns on the day. What do you have to say about Joe Barry?
George Costanza is all I can say. We talked about the key to defeating the Bears was to contain Justin Fields and make him beat you from the pocket. We had to rush with lane integrity. We couldn't have Rashawn Gary and Enigbari and Preston Smith going wide around the back of the quarterback and leaving lanes for him to get out. And it's quite clear that the boys were coached. They had a lot of 5-man pressures coming in lanes, and they did their stunts on the interior, looping the tackles instead of the ends, so you don't have a tackle out on the end without the ability to track down the quarterback. And it was masterful. And Schmitty, I'm sorry to tell you, but Justin Fields is not an NFL quarterback. He cannot read the defense. He's a very nice athlete. He's a wonderful kid. He's got 4.4 speed. He can't talk very well. I mean, good grief. Speak up like a man if you're going to talk about Green Bay and there's nothing to do. That wouldn't inspire me to run through a paper bag, let alone a wall. It's no wonder the Bears don't do anything for him. But I think the Bears will be moving on. They'll get that first quarterback in the draft, and Justin Fields will be playing slot receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers or something over there next year, which would be a good position for him. He can play wildcat quarterback, but he cannot read a defense. It was evident by what we were able to do to him on third down. You make him read the field, you make him stay in the pocket, and he's just not effective. And so, but I'm so over the Bears, I'm ready to move on. This is so exciting what we got going forward here. I just think we can all agree, if we want to wrap it up on Aaron. Aaron was a great quarterback. He's clearly on the Mount Rushmore of players in Green Bay. But I think we all can agree that football is about relationships. And it's about the relationships that you have with your entire team, not a few cronies who you want to go wrap your arms around and have a few beers with. And he's got those buddies in New York now, Randall Cobb and Alan Lazard. And we got a whole crop of rookies who all have beautiful relationships with this humble kid, Jordan Love, who's very much formed by some of those childhood experiences, that he had when he lost his father at a young age. And you can just see the kid is so mature, so humble, gets it, and is just kind of a quiet, you know what he is, guys? He's a quiet assassin out there. He just flat out is steely, cold nerves, and those throws, you got to be kidding me. 27 for 32, and 2 of them were dropped in the end zone. That could have been 29 for 32. I mean, this is unbelievable stuff. So how about we go into Dallas, we win the coin toss, we take the ball down the field and score 7. Somehow we hold Dallas to a field goal or a 3 and out. We get the ball back and make it 14-3, 14-0, and we got a ball game.
I love it. I do have one more housekeeping thing on the regular season here before we close the book on that and start talking playoff matchups. Do you want Will Levis for Jordan Love, Dad?
I told the Vikings this year at the draft with the 24th pick that you can look across the river, just kind of peer out there across the St. Croix River, look across Eau Claire, past Wausau, over toward Lake Michigan, and there's a little place over there called Green Bay where they draft quarterbacks when you don't need them, so you can develop them and you can have them ready in 2 or 3 years, and you can hit the ground running, and it's a beautiful thing. And if the Vikings would have drafted Will Levis and signed up their boy Kirk Cousins, they would be looking mighty good right now. And no, I don't want Will Levis, but the Vikings should have picked him because we got the only guy in the entire league that I want. I don't want anybody else. You can have them all. I'll take Jordan Love. You tell me the guy you want over Jordan Love for now in the future. Give me a name.
Prime Tom Brady.
You're gonna have to get a walker out there.
Yeah, no, that's a tough one to do. He's the truth. He's our guy, and I'm sure happy we have him. And I lied. The one last thing that I do have on the regular season here is just a nice thank you to Aaron Jones showing up in prime time down the stretch. Carolina 127, Minnesota 120. Chicago 111. What a way to cap off the season for Aaron Jones after having a tough year with injuries and battling back. Boy, is it going to be exciting to watch him in the postseason. And you said developing a quarterback, allowing them to hit the ground running Jordan Love sure has done that, Dad, to the tune of being in rarefied air. There aren't too many quarterbacks that have done anything like what we saw from Jordan Love this year, regardless of the talent around them, right? The two guys up on the screen here, with really great initial seasons as starters for their respective franchises. Kurt Warner with the greatest show on turf in a totally new offense run by Mike Martz at the time. And Andy Reid with Patrick Mahomes. He had Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelsey. And interestingly enough, that was Kurt Warner's best year he ever had in his whole career was his first year. Pat Mahomes hasn't eclipsed anything he did in his first year yet. Kurt Warner went on to win the Super Bowl that year, of course, and Patrick Mahomes lost to Tom Brady in the AFC Championship. So we'll see what's in store for Love down the stretch, but gotta love what we saw there from him. As we look forward towards the Dallas game, Schmitty, how do you feel about our chances against Jerry's boys there?
Griffey, I do want to address all this hype. I feel like before we get into the Cowboys, I just want to pump the brakes ever so slightly. Okay. Um, you
That's
are
not what we do here.
no, Griffey. The people need to hear this. This is a landslide. Everyone, Jordan Love is apparently the best football player to ever walk the earth. Okay, we are in Griffey. Yes. As you make that face, we are in now for a 6-year, $280 million contract for this kid, and we've only seen him play one season. You are going to bite the apple so very hard, and I agree with Gar. If you ask me right now which quarterback you'd want, you wouldn't want anyone other than Jordan Love. I agree with that. I just get concerned that we are now on this path. It is a rocket path where you are going to give this kid a amount back the Brinks truck up 17 times over. He is going to get it, and can he transcend? It's not an easy task. I mean, you put that on your payroll, and you got to start trimming the fat in other places. You only have $12 million in that wide receiver and tight end room combined, Griffey. Okay, those kids are going to start wanting money. It's a very fine line that you're going to have to walk as soon as they pay him in May. So let that be going into the off season. We'll address that at another time. But yes, here I am to talk about the Dallas Cowboys, Griffey. The Cowboys are an excellent team at home. They slaughter teams. It is not close. Okay. Dak Prescott and CD Lamb, that connection is better than most in the entire NFL. All right. Their offensive line just as formidable as ours. I'd like to think we have much as far as names go and guys. If we had a dude off, as some would say, they have some dudes. They might have more dudes than we do. All right. I really think that the Packers and the Cowboys, they have a lot of similarities as far as their entire makeup of their team goes. They have some flaws at special teams. Their kickers, I think, significantly better than ours. Um, they're a very opportunistic defense. They win the turnover ratio. That is one of they hang their hat on beating you in the turnover battle. They do it very, very well. I believe his name is Deron Bland. He is very successful at when he gets a turnover to make a touchdown. He picks sixes often. They are a fantastic team, Griffey, and I haven't even mentioned maybe the best player in the NFL. Micah Parsons is an absolute game wrecker. And the fact that they have a veteran in Demarcus Lawrence, who, again, if I'm doing comparatives, I'm saying Preston Smith, Demarcus Lawrence, Rashawn Gary, Micah Parsons. There's a lot of similarities, Griffey. All right. The Cowboys are 7.5 point favorites against the Packers. I think that is way too aggressive of a line, that the Packers would seemingly have a chance to keep this a one-score game throughout its entirety. Jordan Love, when like that I spoke to earlier, if you have Jordan Love, I'm starting to get that warm, fuzzy feeling that if you have a quarterback like him, that you always have a chance. Um, a couple of keys to the game that I think are very, very important is that Jair CD Lamb matchup. That's one I do want to see Jair run around with CeeDee Lamb. He will ruin you. He will, if CeeDee Lamb has 150 yards, Griffey, we don't win that ball game on Sunday. Okay. We have seemingly less mistakes afforded to us than the Cowboys on Sunday. We have to be buttoned up. And part of that is Jair being on CeeDee Lamb. Joe Barry being aggressive. Quay Walker, Griffey, I need to see Quay Walker shoot that A and B gap at least 3, maybe 4 times on a blitz. I really want Joe Barry. What do we have to lose, Griffey? We're a 7 seed going to AT&T Stadium. We got nothing to lose, baby. Send some blitzes. Let's see some cool stuff out of Joe Barry. If you want to keep your job, this is the point. This is where you plant your flag and we give you another 2 years, is if you literally shut down Dak Prescott and that prolific offense at home. The last, Griffey, if we win, I like to call it the battle of the idiotic timeouts. If we win this, okay, if Mike McCarthy calls more idiotic timeouts than we do, I think we might have a chance. Okay. All right. Lastly, Griffey, again, as I said earlier, in this country, consensual fornication, one of the best things that we're afforded in the United States of America. All right. There's only maybe one thing that's better than that, and that's a playoff victory of the Green Bay Packers. And my friend, that's what's going to happen. The Green Bay Packers, they're that kid, that Carlson boy, the guy that I hate so deeply inside, thinking he's going to lose us a game. I harken back to our friend Mason Crosby hitting a 50-plus yarder to send us to the NFC Championship game. It's in the boy. He's going to hit one, Griffey. The Packers win 33-31 on Sunday afternoon. We're going to be prancing around, Griffey. I told you I'm going to get my nipple pierced if the Packers win on Sunday, and I'm going to live stream it on Packers Corner for all to see. It's going to be a parade in the streets, my friend. Bring on San Fran. I hate that team more than anything. They've dashed a lot of my childhood memories. Packers win, Griffey, and we're going to celebrate. Oh, it's going to be magical.
Well, I think you might regret what you just committed to there. You've got this live out to the interwebs. I think we're going to have to hold you to that one. Oh, never a dull moment with that character over there, huh, Dad?
No.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to follow that? Does you
Well,
want me to
I'll
say
lead you
something
into it a little bit
profound?
here. Yeah, well, I'm sure you'll come up with something that way. But you mentioned, you posed the question here. How many quarterbacks would you rather have for the franchise moving forward rather than Jordan Love? And we couldn't come up with many, clearly, or any maybe. Uh, but how many quarterbacks have outplayed Jordan Love this year? Even I think Dak Prescott might be on a short list. It's at least debatable, right? One thing both Dak and Jordan Love have done a heck of a job at is not turning the ball over, especially for Jordan down the stretch here, finishing up with 18 touchdowns to 1 pick, of course. Now, you go back 1 year ago, Dak Prescott actually led the NFL in interceptions. Any chance we can turn him over a few times and have that be the difference in the game? And what are your overall thoughts on the matchup here, Dad?
Well, yeah, I think that's one of the keys. I mean, just to kind of sit back here and take a deep breath, I think objective thinking would makes the Cowboys the clear favorite. However, are you aware of our record down there the last 10 games against the Cowboys? Just speaking historically here, we happen to be 9-1 in the last 10 games against Cowboys. I think we've won either 4 or 5 in a row down there. Of course, a lot of that had to do with our buddy number 12 when he was in his prime. And so, yeah, I think a couple things, and I echo a lot of what Schmitty says. The kicker worries me a little bit, but Schmitty says the kicker's going to be fine this week. If that's the case, I think getting out to an early lead is a key. We play so well, and that gentleman, Aaron Jones, guys, it reminds me of Kirby Puckett. Was it the 91 World Series Game 6 where he went up against the plexiglass and made the catch to, and Jack Buck, Joe Buck's father, Jack Buck, said, "We'll see ya tomorrow night," after Kirby makes that catch, and Kirby goes in the locker room and says, "Boys, get on my back. I'm going to take you home tomorrow night." And he had a couple home runs, and he flat out just put him on his back. And Aaron Jones has been putting us on his back, and we are a different ball club with Aaron Jones. I would just say this about our offensive line. A few weeks ago, we played the Lions on the road in that angry dome over there, and there's a guy named Adrian Hutchinson. Do you remember his name being mentioned in that game? No, you don't. A few weeks later, we played in that terrible bank of horrors over there, and they got a guy over there named Neil Hunter. Do you remember his name being mentioned in that game? No, you don't. And then just this last week, the Bears are resurgent. They got this guy, Montez Sweat? Is that who is the big pass rusher over there? Do you remember his name being mentioned in the telecast? No, you don't. I don't know if we can do that against Micah Parsons, but it's going to be one of the keys. And one of the reasons you don't hear those guys' names being mentioned is because our stellar young gentlemen, and I almost feel like they need to go to confession after all that talk about what was going on, consensual this or that or something else. We Packers, we're peers of driven snow. We don't know anything about that. But anyway, Jordan Love comes to the line of scrimmage. He reads the defense. He's got those eyes darting all around, checking everything out, motioning guys here and there. He knows what's coming. He knows where to get the ball out, and I think that'll be the key to the game, to avoid any turnovers. Don't give the Cowboys short fields. And so I just can't help myself. I'm so doggone excited. There's probably no. Now, I knew Schmitty was going to zigzag. In fact, your mother, Griff, said, "I hope Schmitty picks Dallas because every time he picks against us, we lose." And I said, "No, Schmitty's going to zigzag tonight. He's going to be on the Packers." But I'm thinking this is like the Kansas City Chiefs when we all picked the Packers to shock the world. And I'm going to do it again. I'm going to pick Jordan Love. Those guys are rallied around him. You're going to see Christian Watson. And here's a prediction, Schmitty. You want something specific? You are going to see Luke Musgrave or Christian Watson split those safeties for a 60-yard plus long bomb touchdown in this game. And then you're going to see Musgrave splitting up the middle with his 22-mile-an-hour, 250-pound body, banging off guys left and right. It's going to be a thing like you can't believe. And if our kicker can make the kick, and if Schmitty says Mike McCarthy can make more silly timeouts or challenges than Matt LaFleur, which is not a certainty, because Matt has trouble with some of those challenges. But if all that happens, yeah, I'm not going to pierce anything, but I'll be slathering myself in whiskey, old fashioned here, from one ear to the other.
Well, you guys seem to be very excited about the prospect of a victory and going all out on the limbs. We're nobody's underdog. We're nobody's underdog here. And I hear the term house money. The Packers are playing with house money being thrown a lot. They have nothing to lose. They have a heck of a lot to lose. Just as what you alluded to, Schmitty, we are going to have to pay Jordan Love in the near future, and that changes the dynamics of the team. You've got 1 year with this group of guys, and it could be one more game if they don't get it done. This team's coming together at the right point in time. They're gelling together. And yeah, they're going to get it done. They're going to score at least 30 points. The one wild card is what defense shows up. We've seen a Jekyll and Hyde sort of a deal there. But if the defense shows up, we're going to take out San Francisco too. So we'll take it 1 week at a time here. But we're nobody's underdog. I like the Packers this week. And well, let's back up. What were you guys talking about off air just a moment ago here? What are the odds on a Packers Super Bowl? So I don't want to be reined in at all when I hear the whispers going on. I'm just willing to say it out front here today. It's going to be fun to watch one way or another, guys. Schmitty, I want to give you a chance. Any closing thoughts as we look towards the Dallas playoff game?
Yes, I will address a Packers run, Griffey, with the odds to win the Super Bowl. About 15,000 for every $100 that you spend. on the Packers Super Bowl. I beg and plead every subscriber. How many are we at, Griffey? 100 and maybe 25 of you
150
lovely.
now. We're skyrocketing.
150 of you sexy beasts that walk this earth, that listen to the Packers Corner. We love you, each and every one of you. I want you to join me, Gar, and Griffey, and put yourself, throw $50, okay, on a Packers Super Bowl run. If they can run the gauntlet, we're all going. We're all going to Las Vegas, and the price of admission is paid for if you win 2 games, okay? Because you're going to take care of whoever's in that NFC Championship game. It's no question about it once you run that gauntlet. So you got to win 2 games, all right? It's easy money. You maybe take a little chisel to your piggy bank, just a little speck. Maybe take a little pin needle and watch a couple coins drop out. That's all it takes. $50, and you get to go to Las Vegas and watch the green and gold win a Super Bowl, Griffey. Okay, this is the excitement that we all get to have because again, you have number 10 and you think that he can overcome all. The Packers just got to go +1 in the turnover battle, Griffey. And I think, my friend, that 33-31 prediction that I had, it's going to be real, my friend. I saw it in my dreams. I'm so just ecstatic about this team. You, as any fan in the NFL, and regardless of what happens on Sunday, no one can convince me that the Packers aren't the most promising football club in the NFL going into this offseason. It is undeniable. So, Packers Corner, all of our subscribers, thank you so much. I cannot wait to experience this game with you on Sunday. We are on one hell of a ride. What a great season it's been. God bless, and go Pack go.
Dad, any closing thoughts for the viewers here?
Well, Richard Sherman and Colin Cowherd, we're doing just fine. Everything's good. We made the transition, and you guys can eat some crow here. We're riding pretty high. We might have to watch ourselves here, Schmitty. You got a wounded hand there. I'm a little worried about you. We told your wife Melissa to put all the appliances away, but apparently some of the sharp objects were left out. So let's get that taken care of. I would just say this: the Dallas Cowboys record is not 12-5; it's 11-6. They lost to the Detroit Lions. We all know it. The referees completely botched that game. And it seems to me that the Detroit Lions beat them in Dallas. And we are not afraid of the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions are just a pittance of a team that is a minor detail to us, a minor bump in the road, as we showed at their place not long ago. And if Detroit can go into Dallas and beat the Cowboys at Dallas, then we certainly have a legitimate shot down there. And let's just see what happens. I would just add this, boys, don't get so nervous about the future. We have got the GM of the year. His name is Brian Gutekunst, not Gutenkunst, like some of you have been saying in the past, but Brian Gutekunst is the GM of the year without a doubt. We've got all these young rookies on rookie contracts for 3 or 4 years. Jordan's going to get some money. They're going to sign him to about 4 years for a couple $100 million. It's all going to work out. We're going to get Bakhtiari off the books. We're going to get Rodgers off the books. And boys, Vince Lombardi had a dynasty in the 60s. I'm just saying, don't rule it out. So don't be nervous about the future. This isn't going to be our only opportunity. Let's just enjoy this one for all it's worth. And the great thing is we're going to have another podcast in mid-January, and a lot of joy out there. And God bless our subscribers. As you say, we don't even ask the subscribers to join like all these other podcasts. They know what to do. They just join on their own.
There you go. There you go.
Bring it on.
Hey, and a little pushback on Schmitty here. I would ask and counsel all of you to gamble responsibly. Don't overextend yourself there. We can have a little fun for the Packers. If you need any help or resources, we'll get you in contact with the right folks there. I might know a few people in our circle that might need to do some reaching out as well. That said, this might be a golden opportunity, so I don't want any blowback when they win it all either. So I'm trying to go straight at the fork in the road here. Thanks for joining us tonight, guys. What a heck of a fun regular season here. Look forward to doing it again next year, but let's see if we can eke every last drop we can out of this season. So we'll be back next week, one way or another. Have a good night, and thanks for joining us.
Love you all.
We're out.